Hi, so while I do teach a few lessons online using Skype, recently came across a feature that I have found pretty useful. It's using ChatGPT or Bing inside of the lesson, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's get right into it. All right, so let's see if we could set up ChatGPT inside of one of our lessons. So what I've done is I've created a new account and I have it on my phone here. That account is going to be treated like a student, if you will. In order to incorporate ChatGPT inside of the chat thread during your lesson, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create a group with that student. Up here on the left, all you got to do is underneath this new chat area, you're going to select new group chat. As soon as you do that, you're going to give your group chat a name. I'm going to call this, Bob's lesson. And then you hit this right arrow. Now you're going to choose who you're going to put inside of that group. This is the one I created recently, the Freddy's new Skype. And that's going to be acting as the student. The other contact that you need to bring in is actually Bing as the content. And Bing should show up automatically. I don't think you need to go and look for Bing and add them as a contact, whereas that's the process that I had to do last month when I first initially heard about this. But I think Bing just automatically shows up as part of your AI Copilot. So anyway, you'll go ahead and select Bing. So now I have my student and I have Bing inside of this group, and then I'm going to go ahead and click done. You get a link right here where you could have people join. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this group. So if you copy this link, fellow YouTubers, it's not going to exist. So you could try, but it's not going to happen. So now we have the student and we have Bing inside of our lesson. You can start the call here. Let's say it comes to be lesson time, 5 minutes before, whatever. You can start the call at any point. As soon as you start the video call, they're going to get a message on their end, which should show up here that would say join call on the contact, because their group shows up automatically. So when I created this group, the group showed up for them and I could see it on my phone. It says Bob's lesson. So it automatically gets added. They don't have to approve themselves of being in the group. They're automatically added to this group. You can leave this group at any time. And let's say you get somebody who's not supposed to be in there or whatever. If you right click on this area and hit manage group, you can actually come down here and hit leave at the bottom and you can leave that group. Or as you right click, you can also hit leave right here and leave the group there. And once you leave the group, it disappears and it vanishes. Same thing for the student. I actually keep this group as the same group every time. And so when I do have a lesson with my student, they come into this same group every time. It doesn't change. So what I'm going to do is I'm excited because now we get to use Bing inside here. And how you ask Bing a question is you give it the @ symbol, and it immediately pops up the people that are inside the group. And so you could actually just select Bing and then you can ask it a question. So I have an example question over here. And if I say, can you give me an example of a chord progression that has a tritone substitution? And if I hit enter, Bing is going to be typing. It may give a whole bunch of answers. We'll see in a second as the answers start populating, but there is a moment of time that you wait. And there you go. An answer pops up. Bing has the ability of accessing online. So it gives you some answers here, some examples. It gives you some citations. What is a tritone substitution? And Wikipedia stuff, music theory, some links, a PNG. It looks like there's a picture here that it gives you. It gives you the explanation of what this is. So in my opinion, if you need a little bit of reinforcement or something like that to show the student some common things and simple things that ChatGPT has answers to, then you could actually use that as a resource inside of your lesson. So far, I like it. As a teacher, a lot of people are a little weary about using ChatGPT in a lesson because, I think most people are afraid of the student cheating or that kind of thing. But if you just see it as an assistant, it's there to help you and it's there to help both of us inside of a lesson. So sometimes there's some topics, I'm teaching jazz guitar and there's some topics that, I'm a little rusty on that I haven't discussed since maybe in college. So maybe I need a little refresher, and then, oh yeah, and then I get to explain to the student exactly what that concept is, or whatever it is that I was a little rusty on. So I find it useful. Now, inside of this group, it's really nice because both you and the student can ask Bing, which allows for a little bit of moderation on the teacher's side. So you get to see what the student is going to ask, as the same as the student gets to see what you ask. And so, if I was the student right now, I would do the same process. So it shows that I'm starting to type right there at the bottom of my other account. I'm tagging Bing, and I'm going to say, what is a Dorian scale? I hit enter, and then the student asks what the Dorian scale is. So that's the student, even though it's me, that's the student. Ask, what's the Dorian scale? Bing's going to type. So if the student has a question, the student can ask Bing. If I have a question, I can ask Bing. It gives you what it is. It gives you what it is in notes. You can be more specific, maybe give it some context, and it'll give you possibly some different answers, talking about how it's part of the modes, which is nice. I do like that it gives some reinforcements to its answers. Even though it is Wikipedia, I think Wikipedia is a fairly trusted source at this point in time. It gave even some musical examples of songs that use the Dorian scale. So, as a teacher, that's great, because now I could say, hey, check this out. There's an example of how they're using this Dorian scale. And it moves the lesson along. It helps you as a teacher. It helps the student understand. It gets a little bit more visual for the student. So super easy to set up, and such a nice resource to use during a lesson. So thank you guys for watching this video. And if you like this content and maybe would like to see some more stuff that I'm using it for, just let me know below in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.